What's up, YouTube? Back at you with another video. We're here with the Canelo Alvarez versus Jermell Charlo Los Angeles press conference. Now, I actually didn't see the New York press conference. I held out on it because I wanted to do a reaction to it. So I figured the Los Angeles one would probably be a bit more lit. So anyway, without further ado, let's get into it.
Giving fight fans what they want, and that's the best fighting the best in mega fights. And on September 30th, that's what we have. We have a mega fight because we got Canelo Alvarez. He's back. He's back with the PBC, and he finds himself in an unprecedented matchup. Unprecedented because it will be the first time in the four-belt era that two undisputed champions from different weight divisions will face one another. It's a matchup of two of the sport's pound-for-pound best.
Yeah, honestly, this is definitely a cash grab more than anything else because, in my opinion, I feel like Canelo really should be fighting David Benavidez more so than Jermell Charlo. Even though I want to see Charlo get the big fights, this isn't really a fight that should be happening. But anyway, let's continue.
Two of boxing's most explosive and electrifying fighters. Canelo Alvarez, boxing's first undisputed super middleweight champion, will be putting all four belts of his on the line against the Iron Man, Jermell Charlo, the undisputed junior middleweight champion of the world. Canelo will be making the third defense of his undisputed titles, while you have Jermell Charlo looking to dare to be great.
See, he had to think of some shit to say.
Moving up a couple of weight classes, looking to join the likes of Terrence Bud Crawford as the only male boxers to become undisputed in two different weight divisions. He wants to join boxing legends Sugar Ray Leonard, Tommy Hearns, Roy Jones Jr.
All right, we get it.
Successfully jumped two weight classes.
Sold out crowd at the T-Mobile in Las Vegas. This is going to be a massive event.
Of the year, Mr. Derrick James.
Look at all them belts. Derrick James.
Well, very happy to be here to finish up this last leg of the promo tour. And I'm happy to see everybody turning out. And hopefully everybody turn out September 30th, because I believe that the fight will be fireworks. Jermell's coming with fireworks. I'm sure Canelo's coming with fireworks. I'm looking forward to having a great performance and a great victory that night. Thank you all.
Next, head trainer, manager of Canelo Alvarez. He's also a two-time trainer of the year.
I don't really care.
The Iron Man, Jermell Charlo.
We're here, baby. It's lines only. I just gotta say, I really appreciate Canelo them and his team, Eddie Reynoso, the whole Canelo team. I appreciate Derrick James, Juan Guzman. I want to give a shout out to PBC, Brittany, Tom Brown, and everybody for even considering me, you know, the little brother of the Charlo twins. Like, you know, how could this fight be such a fight that could be sell out to the world and seems to be so big, but when you got undisputed and you got the undisputed king at 168 and I'm the undisputed king at 54 and when I got the call, you know, a lot of people asking that question, you know, they didn't understand what was going on. They was listening to the wrong people. You know, ESPN ain't with us, and all the reporters that did it all wrong, they didn't understand. But when I got the call, there's nothing that I could say other than jump on it, let's go and let's get it. Because my whole career has been about almost chasing Canelo, you know, like.
Well, here's the thing, real quick. I will say that I'd feel a lot better about this matchup if Jermell was the one that was fighting Canelo. You know, and I know I did a video talking about this before, but it just makes more sense. Like, this fight, to me, it just doesn't make sense. Like, it's just more so like, what if. It's like a what if fight. To me, this is like an exhibition, really more so than anything else, because Well, as a matter of fact, no, I take that back because if Jermell beats Canelo, then he takes all of Canelo's belts and becomes undisputed at 168. But I don't think if Canelo beats Jermell, Canelo doesn't get all the belts at 154. So really, if anything, Jermell is the one that can gain everything from this, and Canelo really doesn't gain much from this shit other than, I guess, beating him and then fighting Jermall afterwards. Like I said, I don't know.
Canelo been a top guy for a long time. And if you want to be great, you always want to just fight the top guy. You want to be, you know, I see you, Robert Diaz, in the crowd, because he remember from Golden Boy us always trying to work and try to possibly get that fight. But it presented itself now, it's here, and I just got to get in there and do my job and be the best that I can do and be the best that I can be. And I'm hoping y'all all come out, you know, get your tickets on AXS.com, come to T-Mobile Arena. Y'all follow us, tune in, all access, tune in. Y'all, it's gonna be exciting. We bringing boxing back to the best that it could be this year, and we're gonna give y'all a bang for your buck. And that's all I gotta say. Thank y'all. Lines only.
Thank you, champ.
Does he have his translator up there? Like, what's going on?
Difficult for you, right?
I can do it, but you're the man here.
You tell me. Me or? Okay. No, thank you everybody for coming up. Thank you to all the reporters coming, my friends, my team. I'm just happy to be here and being involved in this kind of fights, big fights. I appreciate the team, Charlo, Alheim on PBC, all around the promotion. Thank you. I hope everybody enjoyed this fight because it's gonna be a really good fight for the fans, for everybody wants to see this fight for a long time. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, we've been wanting to see this fight for a long time, and really it's happening when it was most convenient for you. Again, for the Canelo fans out there, I respect Canelo, don't get me wrong, and I respect him for, I guess, making this fight happen, but nah, like right now in 2023, he should be fighting David Benavidez or Demetrius Andrade. He should not be fighting Jermell Charlo right now because Charlo ain't fought since last year. Jermell ain't fought in almost two years, really? Yeah, he hasn't fought in 2 years. He hasn't been in the ring. So really, this is happening just like on his time. So, yeah, it's funny that he's saying that, you know.
This shit got good, man.
Gotta respect it, man.
No good English, man.
I know. Hey, you gotta respect a fighter who is so good. He's his own translator. I love it. Thank you, Canelo. All right. Yes, absolutely. You're great at it. Let's get right to these questions here, guys. I thought it was interesting, Canelo, yesterday when we were in New York, and we asked, so many of the people in the media thought it was going to be Jermall, but it's Jermell. You told the media, you said, I believe Jermell is a tougher fight and a better fight. Tell the people why you believe that.
I think both are great fighters. No disrespect them. I think both are great fighters, but I think Jermell have better opposition in the fights, and I think he's the better fighter. That's what I think.
Mel?
That's debatable. Like I said, you know, to me, I think they're on the same
September
level.
30th,
So.
what are people going to say about Jermell Charlo, a man who stepped up 2 weight classes and took on boxing's pound-for-pound best?
I think they're gonna appreciate my skills and what I've been doing for so long as a kid.
Say
And
he's
they're gonna
great.
Believe and know that every fight I come to put on a hell of a show, but I'm also dangerous at the same time. So people will be mixed in emotions and calling me great, and that's it. You know, I want to be known as great after this.
How much does that motivate you, knowing you're going up against a guy, not only a great fighter, but then a trainer who's been trainer of the year for the past couple of years as well?
Well, I think about it like this: is that I think about my job for Jermell and making sure that he's able to do everything that I need him to do to be successful. I'm not so focused on who's in the corner because I mean we're not fighting. It's just, you know, so I think that so much about Jermell and helping Jermell get to the best ability and best, even the best knowledge that I can give him and prepare him for the fight. But I think at the same time, this is a fight that facing Canelo Alvarez, which is super fight. And so you're always motivated, you're always inspired, and something that you never thought about it until.
We're on this
Are you
incredible
serious?
tour
What
with
the
a
fuck is
terrific
that?
Norwegian.
Are you interested in starting your own faceless YouTube automation channel?
No,
but
shut
all
your
people
ass
do
up.
is
Motivated to do my job and to make sure that Jermell comes out successful.
Canelo, after the John Ryder fight, people were saying, I think Canelo's losing something on the fastball. Slower, maybe his defense isn't as good. If Jermell Charlo gets in there and boxes him, out-punches him, he gets a win. Your thoughts?
No, we'll see. We'll see. And I understand what the people say, and I agree. No, I don't look my best in the past 2 fights, but I know why, and I'm ready for this fight, and we'll see.
What is Canelo Alvarez about to find out about Jermell Charlo on September 30th?
That I'm not just a little Charlo. I'm the big Charlo. So he gonna realize that I'm what I am, and I say I am. So Canelo will see that I packed a good punching power. I got good lateral movement, good abilities to move around the ring, and I'm a general just like he is. And so he'll see that September 30th, it won't be a walk in the park, and just as well as he's gonna do something different and do something better. Same thing with me.
Facts.
But I'm not gonna overtrain or overstep and overthink it. I'm gonna just get in there and do what I do and have fun.
Yeah.
Same question, Canelo. People probably have seen tape of you. They've come to the fight and watched you fight. What is Jermell Charlo in person?
I'm gonna bring that Texas heat. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna come show up, and I'm gonna show out, and I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna do what I do, and that I love to do. And I'm gonna represent the culture, the people that represent me. And we're gonna put on a show.
And be undisputed champion at super middleweight?
And of course, be an undisputed champion at super middleweight, and then we'll figure out the rest. And hopefully, I'll become a 3-time, and nobody could be that. Somebody tell the WBO get my belt so I can be 2-time undisputed.
Word. You know what's funny? How is that gonna work? Right? Like, that sounds all good and dandy, being undisputed at 2 different weight classes, but how are you going to balance that out? So you're gonna. And again, I'm rooting for Jermell. I want him to win and everything, but I'm really just thinking about that in my head. Like, so let's say if he beats Canelo, you're gonna move back down in weight. You don't have the WBO anymore, so technically he won't be undisputed anymore at 154. So how is he gonna get his belt back? You're not gonna fight Crawford straight off the bat. At least I don't think so. So he's probably gonna have to fight Tim Tszyu or whoever's got the WBO at the time, because if they strip him, then that means he's gonna have to fight for it again, I think. So I don't think they're going to give it to somebody, but whoever is going to have to fight for it. And I'm pretty sure Tim Tszyu is going to have first dibs, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't seen any of the rankings. But that's a lot, in my opinion. Like, there's a lot of stuff that sounds good in theory, but in actuality, I don't know how it's going to work. Basically, my prediction is I don't see Jermell staying at 154 too long. Honestly, I think he should move up to 160. I don't really think he should stay at 168 because I don't know. I mean, basically, I won't really be able to assess what it's going to be like when he moves up to 168 until he fights Canelo and I see how well he does, and hopefully if he wins. But like him versus David Benavidez, Demetrius Andrade, Caleb Plant, like I never really predicted that in my head, you know what I'm saying? And the fact that Errol is moving up to 154, him and Errol are not going to fight because they have the same trainer. So even if they were to consider that fight, one of them is going to have to come up off of Derrick James, and I know it's not going to be Errol because Derrick James was Errol's trainer first. So I don't know, but I just had my mind going for a minute. What the fuck is going on? He's still buttoning up his shirt? Yeah, honestly, that's what I'm saying.
Undisputed versus undisputed.
Jermell looks more like a 168-pounder than he does.
Charlo.
Yeah,
Canelo.
like, look at the size difference.
Showtime pay-per-view.
Yeah,
September 30th. The undisputed super middleweight title will be on the line.
So, Yeah, hold up. Let me just go back for a minute. All right, so basically it's a 50-50 fight. I'm rooting for Jermell to win this fight, just like I said in my first initial reaction to them even making the fight. I think stylistically Jermell is going to present challenges to Canelo that Canelo really hasn't seen. And I think Jermell in recent years has become a bit more awkward than he used to be, than I'd say like in 2017, and prior. Because he kind of likes to switch to southpaw very briefly. Like if you watch a lot of his fights, his recent fights in the last like 3 or so years, you see he's very awkward. So he's like an awkward orthodox fighter, and I think he picked that up training with Errol and being in Derrick James's camp, since 2015, I think was his first fight with Derrick James. And I think Canelo's really gonna just do what he's always done, and that's exactly why I think he lost to Bivol, is because he just does like the same thing. And obviously, again, like it works. And I said that's the reason why Errol Spence lost, is because Errol just does what he always does. Like he basically like rinses and repeats. And against certain fighters, it's always worked. But then when you come across a guy that has a whole game plan that's based on everything that you do well and everything that you don't do well, that's what's ultimately going to be your downfall. So that's why I say it's a 50-50 fight, because Jermell obviously has the size, he's got the experience, he's got the power, and if anything, I would say Castaño kind of is a little bit, similar to Canelo. Like I would have to watch them back to back and really see. But out of all of Jermell's opponents, Castaño is the one that kind of, takes, like a page out of Canelo's book in terms of, his offense and the way that he fights. Not everything, but again, I'm not too far off to say that they're kind of similar. So, yeah. So hopefully Jermell wins this fight. But I would just say, just in terms of the sport, basically, I don't think it's the best thing for the 168-pound division for Jermell to win this fight, even though I want him to win, because again, it's going to hold up the 168-pound division, because they're not going to want to wait for Jermell to fight Tim Tszyu and fight Crawford in order for them, to become champs on 168. So, yeah, I don't know, because at the end of the year, Demetrius Andrade is fighting David Benavidez, so I feel like the winner of that fight should be fighting the winner of this fight. That's the next thing, and I don't know if Jermell is really up for that task. Again, we will really just have to see how he performs again during this fight, but that's the next thing. So if Jermell wins this fight, he has to fight the winner of Benavidez Andrade, and either or, that would be a good fight. If Canelo wins, which I don't want him to, but if Canelo wins, then he will have to fight Benavidez or Andrade. And the thing is, the narrative for both of those options, or both of those outcomes, is actually really good for the sport. So I actually take that back. So I do think that either way, I still want to see a Charlo Andrade. I think the whole build up to that fight over the years and the beef that they've had, I think it would make for, really, good like backstory for the fight. And I think that they could sell the pay-per-view for that easily, if it were to work out that way, whether it's Charlo Benavidez or Charlo Andrade. I'd be excited for that nonetheless. And then Canelo, I'd love to see Canelo get his ass whooped by Demetrius Andrade. I don't care what you Canelo fans, think. You're rarely going to ever see me rooting for Canelo. Although, again, I respect Canelo as a fighter. It's just, again, he's not one of my favorites, and I don't really, rock with him like that. I would root for Benavidez over Canelo, to be honest with you. And I also want to end off by saying Jermell Charlo is one of my favorite fighters. And I think this has been a very bad year for him. He's been out of the ring for almost 2 years. He's been using, the mental health thing, a lot as like a, reason for why he's been out of the ring. But as of late, it doesn't really seem like he's going through it mentally because he got back with his ex-wife. He's been, you know, all out and about at a lot of these fights. And then he got into it with Caleb Plant, which I didn't speak on it, but I mean, my opinion is, it is what it is. Like, that's the situation that happened between two men. Caleb Plant felt like he had to get his get back in that moment. That's what it was. So honestly, I feel like Jermell, if anything, if he still plans on moving up to 168, Caleb Plant should be at the top of his hit list, you know, if nothing else. But the fact that he was a 160 pounder moving up to 168, everybody thought that he was going to fight Canelo. So the fact that that fight didn't happen is almost as if, like, shit, Jermell is like sunning this dude, or he's like Super Saiyan him. Like Jermell is like Goku and Jermell is Vegeta. Like, Jermell is just, you know, 3 steps ahead of his brother now. And I hate to see it because Jermell's whole thing at 160 was to get the Canelo fight, was to get the Golovkin fight, and he never got those. And he's been out of the ring for 2 years, so it's kind of hard to vouch for him at this point. And I'd hate for him to kind of fade into obscurity, but whatever happens in the future between now and the end of the year would really be up to Jermell, you know, if that's the case. And if Jermell having a really decent chance at beating Canelo, if Jermell beats Canelo, then Jermell will never fight Canelo if that's the case, you know, if that ends up happening. So I don't know what the next move for Jermell is other than fighting Caleb Plant. So, but anyway, those are my thoughts. Please be sure, as always, to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.
Good luck.